Welcome everyone to a little impromptu live session. If you don't know, I do these on Wednesdays. No, today's Wednesday. If you don't know, I do these on Saturdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. Play a couple tunes, answer whatever questions anyone might have, take requests as long as they're standard in the public domain. Tune my mandolin a lot. Thank you, Carl, for the congratulatory remarks. Oh yeah, today's Thursday. It's hard to keep track sometimes. Yeah, so I just working on setting up some new video stuff, and I saw that I crossed 30,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for those of you that are subscribed. Great to see you. And thanks for following along. And yeah, I thought, I've been dialing in a new kind of live stream and video setup all day, pretty much. And figured I'd jump on and make sure it works and say hello and thank you to everybody for joining in. I just played a tune called Mississippi Palisades by Chirps Smith. It's on my I did a solo old time album recently, or not that recently. Let's see, a couple years ago now. But that's on there. It's just one of my favorite tunes of all time. Alright, and we got people coming in from all over. I hope you can all see me and hear me. It should be coming through better than ever. I've been doing some improvements, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But we got Carl and Andrew and Master Lang Tao. Oops, what am I doing? I'm pushing the wrong buttons, that's for sure. Just gotta zoom in a little so I can see everything. Gregory, Andrew, and Sheldon, Frank. Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining in. Washington, Minnesota, all over the country, probably all over the world eventually here. Great to see you all. Frank says, hope you get 30,000 more soon. Well, me too, but I think slow and steady is my style. But I'm always down for more people to subscribe. Cool. Greg says the video feed is coming through. Thank you, Dale. Says almost everything I know I've learned from your videos. I appreciate that and glad you're out playing more music. Alright, we got Concord, North Carolina, the Catskills from Mossy in County Cork. Awesome. Thank you. Carl says, hope my Patreon increases too. There's a lot of really generous folks who are giving me a little bit of money every month over on Patreon and really helps me make more of these lessons. But ultimately, I don't want to do anything super celebratory necessarily here. I'm pretty much just here to do the same old. So if you guys have tunes you want to hear me play, we can do a little kind of jam along on a classic tune. This isn't my regular Saturday one, so if you're here and you also come on Saturdays, we probably won't do Saturday's jam along tune just because it's not Saturday. I'll save that one for then. But do join again Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Gregory says, can you tell us about the mandolin you're playing? I missed it if you already did. I have not talked about it this session. So this is not the mandolin I play in most of my lessons. But I'm starting to get comfortable with it. I've had it for 8 months now, maybe. I can't remember exactly when I got it. Sometime this spring. It's a Gibson A. So they kind of go, there's a rank of old Gibsons. This is from 1924. It's a Gibson A. It started with A Junior, which was very not particularly fancy. Didn't have any binding, no inlays, things like that. They don't even say Gibson on the headstock for the most part. Then this is the A, so it's like one step above the Junior. So it's Still not super fancy, but it's got a little bit of binding, a little bit of a rosette. It's got the Gibson kind of looks like painted on the headstock. It's not inlaid, and just kind of standard old dots. And yeah, I like it. It's a fun mandolin. It's nice for playing. It doesn't cut through. It's not quite the bluegrass instrument that my Ellis is, which is what I normally play, that F-hole mandolin. But I think the oval hole is a nice kind of rich sound, especially for playing solo. It's a little more warm and kind of tubby sounding. Picker's Quest, good to see you here. Says surprise stream. Yes, indeed. You never know when they're going to pop up. Maybe we'll play another tune here. I'll play a great old time tune. Can't remember what it's called right now, but I'll play it and then I'll tell you what it is. That tune is called Tennessee Mountain Fox Chase. Did pop back into my head, the name after all. It's a great tune in the key of C. I believe the lesson is on my website. It's a little funky, it's a little crooked. It's got 3 parts, but you know, I think if you watch the video and look at the sheet music, if you're a sheet music reader, I think you can totally get it down. Start playing it with your friends. It's a great one. Don't know who originally recorded that one, but also one of my favorites. Banjo JL says, "Hi friend, I'd like to see you. You're from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Great, awesome. Thank you so much for joining. You say you're a mando and banjo player. Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. I love playing banjo. I was actually just before this, I was down playing tenor banjo, 4-string banjo, tuned exactly like a mandolin, but down an octave, in an Irish session, playing some Irish tunes. Oh, hello, my friend, HLM friend. Hi from Idaho. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Wow, there's a lot more people here than last time I looked up. Got over 30 people watching. Thank you all for joining. Some of you, this will be repeat information, but just wanted to say I usually do these on Saturdays at noon. But seeing that I just crossed 30,000 subscribers and I was setting up some new video equipment and streaming stuff, I thought I would jump on and just say a big thank you to everybody who's subscribed and watched and donated over the years. I really appreciate it. And if you want to see more of these and you're free at noon Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays, that's when I normally do this sort of thing. Let's do a little bit of play. I don't know if y'all got your mandolins with you. I hope somebody does. But I'm going to pick a tune here. Unless people want to throw out some suggestions of a tune we should all play together. I'll play the chords, I'll play the melody, kind of swap back and forth in real time through the power of the internet. Oh yeah, not too fast, definitely. Awesome, we got people ready to go. Got a request for Red Haired Boy, that's a great one. Kia A. Yeah, let's do that. So I'll play through this tune. I definitely won't go too fast, don't worry. If you know the tune... Oh, Angeline the Baker. I think maybe I'll do Angeline the Baker. Somebody requested that, I think, last Saturday, and I never got around to it. So let's do Angeline the Baker, and we'll get to, maybe we'll do the other one, Red Haired Boy as well. Cool, so this is a tune in the key of D. If you don't know it, there's tabs and sheet music over on my website if you're a tab reader and want to try to follow along. Also, you can just try to pick it up as you go. I'll play it through once as the melody, and you can either play the melody with me or chord along underneath. Then I'll play the chords and you can play the melody. We'll swap back and forth a couple times, and then we can all play the melody and go out with a bang. So 1, 2, here we go. You take the melody, or take a solo. Here we go. B part. I'll take a solo, you take the chords. Take it. B part. together. B part. Going out. All right, those are always a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed doing that. I can't remember off the top of my head what we're going to be doing on Saturday, but maybe I'll look it up here real quick and find out so I can tell you all. So we do that once a week on Saturdays. If you can't catch them live, you can always watch them later. And then play along later if Saturdays at noon don't work on your end. But you can just pretend it's live. Might as well be. All right, the next week's tune is, so this coming Saturday, I guess just 2 days away now, is Shove That Pig's Foot a Little Closer to the Fire, or a little further in the fire. It's on my website if you want to learn how to play the melody. If you already know the melody, maybe work on getting some, getting a little improvisation or double stops in there, things like that. Oh man, we got all kinds of requests. All of them are good. I wish I knew Mr. Sandman. It's probably copyrighted, but it's a great melody. Wayfaring Stranger is another great song. Waterbound is a good one. I think we might have done Waterbound at one point, back a couple months ago, but that's a great tune, one of my favorite ones. Yeah, lots of great. Down Yonder, I think that's a Bill Monroe tune, so I can't do that one, unfortunately. Cool. Well, if anyone has any questions, don't be bashful, throw them out. I love hearing what people are been working on their mandolins, and what things they might have questions about. I'm always happy to answer them. Don't know that I'll know the answer, but I'll give it a shot anyway. Maybe until then I'll play another tune. And let's see. I'll go a little Irish music because I was just playing Irish tunes. Play a jig, the chordal jig. It's on my website. Key of D. Very nice tune. tune called the Chordal Jig. It's Cordal. And it's on my website if you want to learn it. And I think there's a lesson that I sort of show all those kind of variations that I was doing, and I have the tablature for that, and that's over there too if you want to work on that side of things. Got a couple great questions about chop chords. Olivia says, best way to work on chop chords. And Gregory says, struggling to get a good chop sound with more complex strum patterns. Any tips? I'm going to grab my mandolin that's a little more focused on the chops. And hope it's in tune. Oops, sorry, got a little close to the mic there. Get a pick that's better for this mandolin. And Picker's Quest says, how about a little Mississippi Sawyer? Woo, they're already picking the strings. You guys might have already seen that. Yes, close. Oh, not that close. So yeah, with chop chords, you can chop on any mandolin, really. I was just looking for a change of scene. With chop chords, there's a couple things going on. One is just the physical action of getting your left hand into that kind of big chop shape. And the other is to get the sort of chop sound coming out of your left hand combined with good rhythm in your right hand. That'll do for now. So yeah, I think, you know, in terms of getting this shape, that kind of big chop shape into your left hand, that just takes a little bit of kind of stretching. There's a couple things you can do. I've got some lessons in the technique and fundamental section about chop chords. One thing you can do is, you know, think about it like starting your G chord, your regular old first G chord you probably ever learned, adding the 5th fret on the D string and 7th fret on the G string. But also building it backwards to sort of approach it from a different direction. So you start with your pinky, then get your 5th fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the A, 3rd on the E, and kind of build it backward in case that, you know, kind of helps solidify those like muscle movements to get those shapes down. And another thing is just sort of being really relaxed all the way up through your shoulders, having nice proper technique, which you can watch my beginner series on, will really help you help you have an easier time kind of stretching your fingers out and getting more reach out of your fingers if you have good technique kind of from the top down. And then in terms of kind of the fundamental chop sound, the thing that's going on is you've got that chop shape now, and you're going to strum it, and then you can let it ring out and then release the pressure in your left hand. Your fingers don't need to move off the strings, but you can release the pressure and the sound stops because your fingers start muting the strings. Like that. And, you know, work on that, get that in a nice slow tempo. And then speed it up a little bit. And from there, you can speed it up a little bit more until it becomes very percussive. And then you can, from that point on, it's a little bit of kind of artistic choice. Like, do you play? Some people will play with a very kind of note-filled chop sound, where you can really hear all those notes. And some people play almost entirely rhythm with just a hint of kind of tone coming out of the instrument. So it'll be more like, versus things like that. And then there's kind of the right hand movement. What a lot of people do is they kind of add a little bit of a bass note in there to sort of give you a little bit of sound on the downbeat. And then the chop. So you have like bass, chop, bass, chop, bass. Things like that. Oh, I hope I'm not blowing. I think I might be overdoing the microphone with this mandolin. Apologies if it's crackling with all those chops. But from there, we maybe get into Greg's question about getting a good chop sound with more complex strum patterns. You know, I think the way to get into that is adding in that bass note first. And from there, you can sort of add little bits of a lot of like kind of muted stuff. It's going to need to be pretty subdued or muted just to sort of keep that offbeat really strong. But you know, kind of get your right hand to go down and up, down, 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 up. And if you get this kind of wooga chucka, wooga chucka, wooga chucka, wooga chucka, the chuck is your offbeat. Wooga chucka, wooga chucka, wooga. So then you got a little more rhythm in your right hand, kind of doing this, and then you're just kind of pushing down your fingers in your left hand when you want to chop. Things like that. And, you know, just kind of experiment with that right hand. Getting that right hand nice and fluid is really going to help you out immensely. Those are all great questions. Picker's Quest says, how about some Mississippi Sawyer? Great old-time tune. I'll play a little bit of that, and then unfortunately I do have to head off. Can't do a full hour this tonight, so I'm just going to cap it at a half an hour. But thank you all so much for joining in. Thank you to everyone for subscribing and donating over the years. You know, I love doing this, and I couldn't do it without you, so thank you very much. Keep picking, and here's a little bit of Mississippi Sawyer. Thank you all so much. Thanks for all the congratulations and support. And sorry I couldn't say hello to everybody. I see all kinds of people keep kind of coming and going. Andrew's here. Thanks for the congrats, Andrew. Mike, JN, Mark, Sheldon, Linda. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. Keep playing lots of music, and see you again soon. Bye-bye.